Hello friends, and welcome to a day in my winter kitchen and garden. Well, this was actually filmed over 2 days. It took me a day to actually clean up my veggie garden and pick this beautiful pumpkin, half of which I already used to make a delicious, hearty, traditional Italian pumpkin soup that my family absolutely adores, which I will show you later in this video. And also this humongous bunch of parsley, which I'm going to show you how I can make 3 different recipes or how I can turn it into some interesting Italian cuisine in my next video. So watch out for that. But I had to clean out my veggie garden and I picked half the parsley. I'd say, actually, no, I'm lying. This is actually a third of the parsley. 2/3 is still in my veggie garden. But my efforts of growing pumpkin over the summer gave me 1 pumpkin, which I'm extremely grateful for because I've never grown pumpkin before. So this is a start. I don't know. I think I might have had to wait a little bit longer because there's no seeds in it. I don't know. No experience in growing vegetables and definitely no experience in growing pumpkin. But yesterday I decided I needed a bit of a break from work and I needed to get my veggie garden in order. So I spent pretty much the majority of the day, or I attempted to spend pretty much the majority of the day working in my garden, in my veggie garden and cleaning it up. And halfway through it started raining. So I had to come back inside. And then the sun came out, or should I say, it just stopped raining and I was able to finish off my veggie garden. And today I wanted to make a delicious pumpkin soup that I'm sure if you follow, your family will love. So let's spend the day with me. A summary of 2 days in one. In Melbourne in winter. The original plan was to actually clean up the pool area, put all the summer furniture away, clean up the alfresco to make it look cozy for winter, prune the fruit trees that had overgrown by the end of summer and we hadn't gotten to before we went on holidays, remove the netting off the fig tree, clean up plants that had overgrown their space, pull out weeds, clean up the veggie garden for the winter before deciding what to plant, if anything at all, in the coming weeks. But I started after lunch when I finished editing Saturday's video, and needless to say, the rest of the day was not nearly long enough to get everything on my to-do list done. Is your to-do list always overly ambitious like mine? Between stopping for the rain intermittently for an hour, which I took the time to tidy up the pool area, and the short days, I had to give up on getting it all done. It will have to wait for the weekend when there'll be more hands on deck to help. I did manage to clear up the veggie garden, which was my number 1 to-do task, because I really wanted to film a few cooking segments now that the weather is cold and the days are short. These flexible frames that I'm removing were purchased from Temu and for a smaller garden would have been perfect. But for my space though, they were too flimsy and would regularly flip out of the ground and the metal joint fly into the air, never to be seen again. I did make it work by threading the pieces through the netting and around the front frame of the garden bed and into the ground. But for next year, Kevin is working on a more sturdy solution for this space. Once the netting was removed, I was pleasantly surprised to see what had been growing underneath. I hadn't been maintaining this space for a few months, and in the meantime, I noticed some interesting vegetables that started sprouting from my kitchen scraps. There was kale in the back corner, some potatoes, garlic and onions, even avocado plants, which I may be able to keep protected over winter. The task of pulling out all the dead vegetables and all the weeds took a little while. Some of those weeds are really strong and hardy and they're really difficult to pull out, but I did manage to get it all done before the rain kicked in. Wow, the sky looks really dark. I am hoping that I can finish what I started today. This whole veggie garden, this section here is pretty much all parsley that I need to pull up. There are some onions or garlic that are coming up. Those are avocado plants, potato plants that are shooting up. There's a pumpkin to harvest, some maybe tomatoes that I can pick. I think that might be corn, garlic or avocado. more potatoes, kale, and some sort of onion or garlic here too, I think. Well, that's it for today. It's starting to rain. After the rain, I returned to pick my pumpkin and cut the parsley. I picked a fair bit of it, but left even more behind. The plant looks so happy and lush. I don't know whether it will last through winter or die. If anyone knows more, I'd be glad for the advice. Do I pick it all and freeze it or turn it into something, or would it last through the winter? I know many of you are much more knowledgeable about cultivating vegetables in the backyard than I am, and many of you gave me some sound advice last time I made a garden video, so I'm really looking forward to your advice.
Rainy days don't seem so wet.
This traditional Tuscan-style minestra di zucca I'm going to share with you is a family favourite. It's simple, hearty and easy to adapt, and perfect on a cold winter's day. It's just simple, honest food using simple ingredients readily available, but when cooked together, makes you feel like you're sitting in a trattoria in Tuscany. Trust me when I tell you that you will love this as much as we do if you choose to make it. I'll list the recipe in the description box below the video for you to make. Make sure to save this to your favorites so you don't lose it. Now sit back with a warm drink and I will share my family recipe of minestra di zucca with you. Saute the onion and garlic with the olive oil and add the carrots and celery at this step too. Just a little behind the scenes note, when I was filming, I got distracted and forgot to pop the carrots and celery in with the onions and garlic at the beginning. So you'll see me adding them a little bit later in the cook-off. Don't worry though, I always include them when I make this family favourite. They add that beautiful depth of flavour we love. Add the pumpkin and the potato, stir it all up together so it starts the cooking process. Then I add a tablespoon of Vegeta, but you can add any stock, vegetable stock that you have. I add about a tablespoon of Vegeta and then a litre or 4 cups of water. Stir it together. I then add a sprig of rosemary straight out of my garden that I picked, and then a bay leaf. Stir it all together, put the lid on, and then sit it there to cook for about half an hour until the pumpkin and the potatoes are just soft and mushy, that when you cut the potato, it actually breaks and turns into almost like potato mash. Then blitz it with a hand mixer until all the vegetables are mushed and just, it becomes like a thick vegetable puree. By the way, did I remember to tell you to remove the cooked rosemary and the sage leaf? Do that before you blitz it all together. At the end of blitzing, the soup is rich, thick and hearty, and all it needs is some freshly cracked salt and pepper. Ladle it into a big bowl. Trust me, this is a meal in itself, so be generous. Drizzle some good extra virgin olive oil, a sprinkle of Parmesan cheese and crusty bread, and you'll believe you are in a trattoria in Tuscany. All you need is a glass of wine and you're set. Make this soup. Your family will absolutely adore it. And your tummy will too. It's so cozy and delicious. Bye.